Hey everybody, the following is an excerpt from the monthly Rahdo Roundup, and if you'd like to see the rest of the roundup, you can hit that eye up in the top right corner of the screen, or if you'd like to know more about the game, you can follow the link down in the show notes. And with that out of the way, let's talk about Chandigarh, which is from a relatively new designer and a relatively new publisher. I do not remember the publisher's name. I remember it was from Tony Lopez, who I know in real life is friends with Danny Garcia, one of my new favorite designers. And Tony, like Danny, comes from the video game industry, so I've said it before and I'll say it again. Let's see more video game people come in and start making board games, because it turns out they do amazing things, like Chandigarh. Now, this is a game where players are competing to do the best at developing Chandigarh, this city in, I think it was the Punjab region, if I recall correctly. It's the capital. I believe there's a nice section, talking about the history and how the city was developed, and how the gameplay of this is very much inspired by how this real-world city was developed with its sectors and all of that. But anyway, long story short, this is an incredibly elegant, fast-playing game that is at the same time ridiculously deep and crunchy and gives you so much to think about every turn. What are we doing? Well, on your turn, you are either going to get a new scoring card. As you can see, at any given time, there's 4 scoring cards out there, and your whole turn could be to grab one of those and add them to your existing scoring cards. But here's the problem. I've already got 3 scars I'm trying to score by building up the city in a certain way. And if I take a 4th card because I really want to score that thing, or the other reason I take cards is because they give me more building pieces, the materials I need to build buildings. So I got to grab these cards to get building materials, but also to give me more objectives. Here's the problem though. When I grab one of those cards, I have to kick out one of my existing cards and put the new one in to kind of take its place. And so there are often agonizing decisions of, I need building materials right now because I can't build without them. But that means I have to I have to score one of my existing tiles, and I'm not ready to score it yet. I'm just about to score a big payday. How do I deal with this? Well, I can kick out a different one instead, but that one's only just gotten started. So the game has an objective management system that is freaking brilliant. And I would love to see this done in more games. Although I love to see it here in Chandigarh too. It makes the game, the way you manage, and you have to make incredibly difficult decisions about managing your objectives. But then there's a whole other half of the game, because on your turn, you're either going to grab an objective, score an old objective and get rid of it, and also get some new building materials. The rest of the time, you have a little avatar that moves around from sector to sector of the city, and for every step you take, you can build one building with the materials you've collected earlier. And you're building those buildings to try to complete the 3 objectives you have on hand. And here's the thing, folks. This is one of those games, I'm going to skip past that. This is one of those games where we are building to a combined city. So you might desperately want to put a blue building in this space because it'll give you big points for completing your blue objective card. But you look over at me and I say, yes, please do that, because I've got a blue objective card too, and you'll be helping me score mine. And you think, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for you to do it, and I'll work on my other objective over here. And so there is so much interaction, not destructive interaction at all, but it's just, if you pay attention to what your opponent is doing, you can really put yourself in a position to be able to piggyback off of them and take advantage of what they're doing. Because I can see your objectives. I know what it is you're trying to do. That means I could take a pretty informed guess about where you're going to go, where you're going to build. And so I could time my movement, because like one thing is, if you're the last person to put a building in a given area, well, then you get to control that sector, and you get to put one of your markers on the board, which lets you score in-game objectives. So you don't want to set somebody else up to be able to put the last tile down. But remember, the way it works is you move once and then you build. And if you want to build another, you got to move again. You can't move once and then build twice. So every time you're putting something on the board, you are creating opportunities for your opponents, and you're terrified of that the whole time. But in addition to being worried about that, you're also worried about trying to maximize your objective cards you have. Because sooner or later, you have to score them whether you want to or not, just so you can get more building materials. This game is just bonkers brilliant. This, honestly, I want to say it's a Spiel des Jahres nominee. It might be too much for that. It might be a Kennerspiel, but it should. If the Spiel des Jahres and Kennerspiel des Jahres committee does not give this game its due whenever it eventually makes it into Germany, that will be a huge miscarriage of justice, because this game deserves to be up there with your Cascadias. as far as I'm concerned. It's frickin' brilliant. And it's my number 3 of the month, Chandigarh. Watch for it, folks. It's frickin' amazing. And thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference, believe me. But with that out of the way, if you'd like to see some more, over on the left, you can find a playlist of a whole bunch more Rahdo Rapid reviews. Up in the top right, there's the latest thing that's been added to the channel. And in the bottom right, you've got something YouTube recommends. Okay, folks, thanks for watching.